You're watching That Lovell-Boland Life. If this is the first time you're seeing our faces on YouTube, I'm Sam and this is my wife Rianne.
Today we're continuing our exploration of Singapore's heartlands, and we're out east in a town which most of us would have said incorrectly the first time we saw it. We're in Tampines.
But before we go and explore this eco town, please do like this video so more people get to see it, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's completely free and it really helps us. Right.
Let's go.
So as Rianne just mentioned, this is number 5 on our Heartland series. So far we've been to Bishan, Yishun, Punggol and Toa Payoh. Today we're in Tampines. In our Heartland series we go to 2 of the best places to visit in that Heartland, and we also try and find the best food in that area. And we're starting right here at Tampines Eco Green. Now, one thing I love about doing this Heartland series is there's always this misconception that Singapore is a small place, lots of people, but you come to places like this, Tampines Eco Green, there is just lush greenery all around you. It's about 10 AM when we're filming this in the morning, and there is literally no one here. So you can come to these sorts of places in the Heartlands and find the calm and serenity that you need away from your working life.
So as Sam said, we haven't really seen that many people at all, and that's because the Tampines Eco Green doesn't even have a specific place on the map. So we've been really lucky that we've kind of had this whole place to ourselves. And this park is the only park in Singapore which has multiple different habitats. So as you can see right behind me, we've got freshwater ponds. Behind that there's open grassland, there's marshes and even a secondary rainforest. We just stumbled across this huge bamboo plant, loads and loads of it, and it's really awesome to see, especially here in the Eco Garden, because here in Singapore way more products are being used with bamboo, such as utensils, kitchen roll, even toilet roll, because it's way more sustainable than chopping down normal trees and using that paper. Used to seeing, the drain systems, the flood preventions all across the island, but these are vegetated swales, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. We've been seeing signs that say that this is the natural version where all the rainwater is collected and helps prevent flooding across the island, and that's a really unique thing for here, Tampines Eco Green. So of course there are plenty of sustainable initiatives at Tampines Eco Green, including reused wood. So you can see I'm sat on some of the recycled wood, and they use it for stools, also shelters, and of course signboards.
So here's a quick example of what Rianne was mentioning earlier. It's the reclaimed wood that was made into signage. And I know we talked about the peace and serenity earlier, but if I flip you round, just here you can see the MRT line is running right behind us. You do get the peace, you do get the calm, you do get the serenity, but every few minutes you do get the sound of the MRT.
So the last Heartlands which we explored was Punggol, and we went to Coney Island, and this park has a very similar resemblance because there's no lighting, there's no pavements, and the similarities also don't end there because Tampines is an eco town, which Punggol is also.
So as you can only imagine, because we are not locals here, we have to do lots and lots of research to find out all about the heartlands that we are visiting, and none more so than Tampines right here. For example, this place used to be very different to the Tampines that we know today. Just like the Toa Payoh series that we did, this place, Tampines, used to be sand quarries, it used to be swamp, it used to be forest. So it's very different to the Tampines that we see today.
Now, as you can see behind me, there's a range of biodiversity in plants and trees. Now, we kind of made light of this at the beginning, that we had no clue how to pronounce Tampines when we first moved here, but it was actually named after the Tampines tree. It just shows how important environment is to Tampines, because it's an eco-town and it's also named after the tree.
So as expats who live in an HDB, these ones right behind me here in Tampines are really interesting. They're kind of like the landed properties that you see in Seletar. They're black and white HDBs. I just imagine they'd be great on Instagram.
Now, we wouldn't normally show you a toilet on this Heartland series, but this is something special because it's chemical free and water free. So it actually uses human waste and turns it into compost. And they do that by using wood shavings. So you'd think the smell would be pretty bad in hot and humid Singapore, but right now I can't smell anything. And the really cool thing is also on the roof, they're growing plants. So we've just finished the Tampines Eco Green loop. It's roughly about 2K, but it did take us quite a bit of a long time because we were just enjoying the birds, the butterflies, and all the different diversity that this place has to offer.
Yeah, and as people have just moved out east, it's been great exploring a neighbouring heartland. So if you're ever in Tampines, we really do recommend coming here. But right now, we're off to location number 2.
We're now at location number 2 at the Tampines Chinese Temple. Let's go.
So if you've watched any of our Heartland series, you'd have seen that we've been to a few temples, one in Toa Payoh, one in Bishan. So this is the 3rd temple that we have visited in our 5 Heartland series, but this one has got a really interesting history. When Tampines new town was being built, there were 12 different constituent temples, and they had to clear the land, clear the space. So they all came together to create this one smaller temple here in Tampines Street 21. And one really interesting thing that I've seen here is it's got the zodiac signs, and it's also got the little animals. So here's my horse for my zodiac sign.
And this is mine, but apparently it's not going to be a good year for me, so we're not going to read this.
So one thing that I found really interesting when we filmed at the temple in Toa Payoh is you have this stunning temple, the stunning Buddhist temple right behind you, but then you also have the Singapore Public Housing, the HDBs, right there. So you could be living right there, temple right next to each other. It really shows that Singapore really uses the small amount of space that it has. So if you've seen any of our Heartland series before, you'll see that we've spent a little bit of time here, not as much as we would usually, but I think that's because it's a little bit smaller. But the whole reason why we wanted to come here is the history. It's so rich, and we'll put that right in the description if you want to read more.
And of course, with any temple, the colours were so vibrant, the detailing is exquisite. Really had many stories like on the walls, the wall art was fantastic, and of course that iconic dragon, which was beautiful.
Yeah, so now we spent a little bit of time here, really enjoyed it, and if you are in Tampines, do come, don't be put off. It is really interesting. Even if you're here for 5-10 minutes, it's really interesting. But I don't know about you, I am really hungry.
Let's go makan. I have the signature kucing kolo mee after waiting in that queue over there. So let's see how it tastes. So I've never had kolo mee before. I'm really interested to try. There was a good queue, and that's always a good sign when you come into the hawker centres. So let's have a go. Oh, I'm so hot and sweaty. Definitely want some food after that long walk. Nice chili hit. The noodles are nice and springy. A real good mix of flavours, so I definitely would recommend this Sarawak Kolo Mee.
So we did that silly thing as expats. We came to the hawker centre a little bit late, so a lot of the stalls are closed. What I wanted was a speciality nasi lemak, but what I got instead was this masala thosai. It was about $4 for this, so it will be nice. But like, if you split it in half, you see how good it is. Mix it all together. Wow. Has a nice kick compared to some of the ones we've had in Little India. This is really nice, got a really nice spice to it. I don't think it's on many lists of the best things to eat here at Tampines Round Market, but it is really tasty.
So even though this masala thosai is Sam's dish, I am a huge fan. I have Indian roots, and this is probably one of the best that I've had in Singapore, hands down. Very punchy, very flavorful, a lot of spicing, and I'm enjoying it.
So we've just finished our 2 incredible dishes here in Tampines.
Yes, so we're at Tampines Food Centre, and as soon as we were telling people we're going to move east, everyone said that the food is better, and I can honestly hands down say this is probably the best experience we've had at a hawker centre since we've started the Heartland series.
Yeah, we've really enjoyed it. This is the 5th in our series, as we've mentioned before, but it's been really fun exploring Tampines, and I just wish we'd explored it
years ago. Absolutely. This place is an eco town, as we mentioned, so I've loved all the sustainable initiatives, and I think, as we mentioned about the food, we were just in time because everything is now sort of closing down for the afternoon.
Yeah, you can really tell why people love it here, and you can tell why people live here, because there is so much to do, and you've kind of got everything included in one small area, like we saw when we visited Yushan.
Yeah.
But if you have enjoyed this video, which we hope you have, please do like it. It really helps us. It shares it to more people. And if you haven't done already, please consider subscribing, because it is completely free. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it really helps us out. We really hope you've enjoyed watching.
Yes, and just before we go, please do put in the comments where you think we should explore next.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.